What up, homies? In my normal space, just new studio. You know, it's okay, I guess. Whatever. But no, I didn't realize there was a camera over there. No, obviously I am at my buddy Henning's. He is back there. Oh god, he's in control of the cameras. So what I wanted to do is, first of all, tell you to go subscribe to Henning's channel, because we have all kinds of cool videos that we're about to do. Actually, we've already shot a couple of them, so it should be interesting, you know, like opening up 1,000,000 guitars. But anyways, real quick, what I want to do here is we're going to talk about how to make our hands sound better. So what I wanted to do was just different ways to make your hands sound better. You know, or not, maybe not better, just different, to give us different options. So that is what we're going to be doing here. Not really any tabs for this one, so we'll be tab free, the way to be, but we're just going to go ahead and get started.
Oh yeah!
So number one is actually going to be revolving around our old picking hand over here. So if we were to play a scale, you know, a lot of times we alternate pick it. Maybe we'll just do like A minor pentatonic, the ultimate key for me. So, and if you were to pick it all down, it has a different sound to it than if you pick it all up. So the up has so much more bloom and pop to the note. There's a lot of players, Dimebag Darrell, all these guys have talked about, like when they're doing like their heavy music, I don't have like a ton of distortion. They pick and they do like they prefer the up pick, has a little bit more bite to it. So that's one way right off the bat that you can get a different sound. I know if I'm doing like a funky kind of solo, I like to pop the strings a little bit more. So I might be going, you know, versus all down. I know YouTube compression will make them not so like blatantly obvious as it's going to be in the room, but that's a huge way to even like you look at like Lagrange by ZZ Top, you know. Probably played the riff wrong, but he does a lot of those up picks. You know, he goes to the heavier part. Whole different sound to it. You're hitting the strings in a different direction. There's a lot going on. So that's the first one, is just change your picking hand direction.
Oh yeah!
So we are on to numero 2. So how we get what else could we possibly do? Well, you can add vibrato to notes, and there's a lot of different ways to add different styles of vibrato. So if we were just to pick a single note, say like 7th fret on the G, you know, where's D note. So that is what I consider my normal vibrato. You know, I'm just gonna sit there and kind of like, I prefer like a slower, wide vibrato. Now, some people like Angus Young to me has a narrower, faster vibrato. When he did like the solo to like Shook Me All Night Long. It's that faster style vibrato, which I'm not super good at, but there's all different ways, and the vibrato is a huge tone factor, because I mean, to me it's one of the most identifiable parts of a player's style. George Lynch, Greg Howell, they have a very unique style of vibrato, where they slide up and down from notes. So if they're playing 7th fret, that crazy, I can't really do it, but the crazy slide thing where they're like, I'm not good at it, but they do that crazy, and basically it's simulating to me like a vibrato, the notes, you know, warbling around in there and stuff. You could also do a much more like violin style vibrato, where you're more rocking your hand back and forth. So instead of bending the string like that, you can hear it. There's a very subtle vibrato on that, and it's really cool, especially on the higher string. Just kind of like rocking your hand around like that, and that's more like a left to right instead of up and down motion. Real subtle, but it's really nice, like in a ballady kind of setting, you know. That's my cell phone. What up, cell phone? Oh, hold on, wrong chord. So maybe you're kind of right there. You just want like the very warm, slow vibrato. That's such an easy way. So, and then back to my normal style vibrato. And of course, you have like the Zakk Wylde style vibrato, where it's just, you know, I think his is like a step and a half or something like that. I'm not good at all these different styles, but they're different things to think about that you can incorporate into your own playing. So if you're playing like you want that real aggressive, yeah, there's a lot of attitude in that. I think Henning's probably cringing at me not using my pinky, but you don't need a pinky when you do vibrato. Duh.
Oh yeah!
So this one, what I want to talk about is back to our right hand now. So what else can we do with this old guy over here? So basically, we're muting the strings. Now, there's different ways that muting the strings can affect your playing. Now, you could, of course, you're probably just thinking palm mute. That's a great way to do it. You can really articulate your notes more. Say if you're just going through a scale, like we'll do, well, I'm thinking A minor, but I guess it'd be like B Locrian. Now, if you notice the notes there, I probably didn't do that. I forgot to mute. So I would normally play it like this. No, I totally remember to do that. And so what's happening is I'm starting out very heavily palm muting the strings, because you notice all these, you know, different tones are not coming from me. I'm not turning my volume down. I'm not trying to adjust it with any kinds of pedal, any of that stuff. It's all just coming straight from me muting the guitar. So I start out muting that scale really, really heavy with my right hand. So when I'm going through that, I'm going. And to me, that's changing the tone of it, because the note, it's building. It's not only like the sound is building, because if I did it all unmuted, listen to the sound. Sorry, hold on. All the notes are kind of the same, you know? I mean, they're different pitches, because I'm playing literally different notes, but listen to how much, to me, more the muting adds to it. Don't know what just happened, but there's just so much that you can do with just your hands, you know? So then when you start incorporating more like pedals and stuff like that, then it's just, you know, adding all these different flavors and textures to it. But just muting with your right hand is a big one. Now, there's other things your right hand can do that involves muting. That's something that I am like ridiculously guilty of, is wanting to always rake the strings when I bend. It's like, I don't even think I can bend without raking the strings at this point. But so when I'm using my right hand and I'm going to rake through the string, so I'm going to play this bend. Now here's an unraked note. Sounds fine. Or what I'm doing is I slide my hand up a little bit. So back here is where I consider palm muting, and up here the mutes are almost dead. That kind of sound. So listen to when I rake through the string. So it's like a build up to the note again, you know, and then the note blooms out of that bend. But it's all from sliding your hand up a little bit, so it's almost like a worthless note, because there's nothing really happening. But when I throw it with that bend, even I mean, it's like a Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of thing, like when he's doing all those like. It's a very percussive way of kind of playing through those notes. And if you had your hand back here, it's not gonna work. Make its way out, so you gotta slide your hand up a little bit.
Oh yeah!
We're gonna talk about left hand muting. I keep looking at the wrong camera. We're gonna talk about left hand muting real quick. So we talked about right hand muting. I flipped the Rev to the good old clean channel on it. And it's a whole different ballpark when you're talking about your left hand cleans, or left hand mutes, because it's a whole different vibe to it. Now, this comes from a lot of like learning funk music, and I always recommend people learn funk, because they can take something so simple. I mean, listen to a James Brown song. Listen to a James Brown album. That's what you should do. But you will take something, you know, again, so simple. Just this. It's a simple. It's like. Okay? Now, I already dig the groove that's kind of happening there. I can hear the doom, doom kind of happening. But what if we added some left-hand mute? So all I'm doing is I'm letting my hands rest on the strings, and you know those notes we normally don't want? Well, we want them now. They're good notes now. So we're gonna go. Because a lot of funk music is just keeping your hand doing that. Stuff. It's up to your left hand to control when the mutes are happening.
We all think that for funk, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Because we love playing that. Because it's giving us that 16th feel. Mm-hmm. And that's how we all approach it. And then I go into the funk class in Berkeley.
Oh, no. Well.
And the teacher, who is the master of the funk, says exactly not.
Not?
Because the trick, it's easy to hear that when you have the notes in between.
Yeah.
Because it's giving you the timing.
Yeah.
It's giving you the timing.
Oh, camera.
But try to hit it without the notes in between. That is a lot harder.
So you're saying...
Not doing that. Just doing Only hitting those is a lot harder than doing
Oh, yeah, definitely. Way
So-
more difficult.
I think it's the interaction and the counterpoint in the funk of only hitting those and what the bass is doing, what the ghost notes on the snare are doing, and leaving
yeah.
those spaces is what is really awesome. Because you're hitting that da, ba, gak, gak, and maybe one or two little ghost notes, but strumming through continuously
Yeah.
is something that funk players do that think they do funk, but the real pros,
I have them just like articulated in there.
or even not at all.
Yeah.
Like, do Sex Machine. Can you do Sex Machine?
No.
No, give me that thing.
I'm not gonna
It's
do that.
Because we looked at that, and it's I don't know what key it is, but let's do we. So you do.
Okay, so
but it's actually is. And all that stuff that you think should go on in between, that's the drums, that's the bass, that's the rest of the band.
Ah.
But when you're playing by yourself, the band's not there. So you
there.
want to fill it up with.
Yeah.
But when you're actually playing in the band,
you don't want to do that.
you
That
don't
makes
want to do
sense.
that. Yeah?
See, I've never played funk with anybody else, so that makes sense why.
So here's the challenge. Play Sex Machine. And play that for the whole 7 minutes that it's at.
Well, right.
And do, and 90% of the time it's. And you don't do anything but that. And try after 5 minutes to still hit it perfectly. I think that's the challenge when it comes to funk. So it is, of course, what you said. Do the ghost notes, and that is fun, and you have to nail that sometimes.
Yeah.
But controlled.
Yeah. But what you said is a really good point, though. Like you said, it's different in a band setting because you have other instruments there. Because I think it's our instinct to want to fill.
Exactly.
Like, there's empty space and like something needs to be happening here.
Yeah, and those other instruments, they're filling it, and you're just doing those articulations, and
Yeah.
maybe like a little ghost note thing.
Yeah. Well, that's like James Brown stuff is always like. I think people pass it up. Or like, because like we want arpeggios, we want all that kind of stuff, and it's like,
Oh no, try to play that stuff.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, you listen to the guitar and it's simple and like numbers, like you see the numbers down on paper or something like that. But then like
that class was hard.
Oh, I
Really
imagine. I mean, like sometimes like the grooves that they're put on that stuff, it's like.
So I'm gonna go. I didn't want to rain on your parade, but bye bye.
Thanks for ruining my lesson.
Sorry.
Oh yeah!
So the final one is how we're gonna be getting to the note. So obviously there's way more than 5 ways to control the tones, but we're just gonna we'll say we want to do this. Is that what we want to do? No, we want to do this. Now that is just simply picking the notes. So when I'm doing that, obviously that's to me the most aggressive way of kind of getting to it, or the most pronounced way. So we have these notes. And again, you could control which way you pick, down, down, up, down, up, depends on what you're kind of going for. Or, what if you slid to the note? You went, very different sound to it. What if we did a hammer-on? Hit the string below it, that way it rings out like that. You know, there's so many options on that side. What if I didn't use my pick? What if I plucked it with my finger? Now I'm gonna get a pop out of the note. Whole different sound. Again, you know, the way that you're delivering the note, I mean, they've all been about basically this concept of the way we're delivering the note, but, you know, it's just, your left and right hand can do so much together, I guess is the overall point of the whole video, and that's just how you get different tones, you know? So when they say the tone is in your hands, I mean, obviously the way you push strings down, the way you play a note, stuff like that, totally true, you know? But also the way that you're physically in contact with the strings with both hands is such a huge, you know, thing that some people just don't think about, you know? And like I said, we didn't even get into rolling your volume knob down, using your tone control, switching pickups. I mean, these are all different sounds, and we've pretty much, other than switching to clean for a minute, pretty much stuck it out with just using our hands, you know? So supposed to be a harmonic, and it wasn't. I think that's actually it. I'm hoping that was 5, so we'll totally see. And other than that, guys, we are out of here. Been jamming on this Schecter Diamond Series PT Rev into the 2 notes. I can't see it, but it's trust me. Oh, look, there it is. The man with all the cameras. And make sure you subscribe to my buddy Henning, because, like I said, we've got a lot of videos going up on both channels, and I think that's it. You know, videos are maybe appearing over here. I don't know. This is a different setup. I'm confused at this point. So other than that, guys, I will see you all later. I'm gonna try to like high five the camera from here. Oh wait, what if we went to this camera and it was a high five? Later, guys.